right, so we're 3 minutes past, which is where we usually start these days. So I think let's get us kicked off. Hope everyone's doing well. And as usual, our call technicalities and agenda are that we are running for 30 minutes. That's the goal anyway. And further discussions can be taken offline. This call is recorded, and please stay muted unless you're speaking, but you are very, very welcome to ask questions and kind of talk if you want to talk or type in chat. We're here to enable everyone in the MetricsDAO community to understand what's being worked on and the projects and the status and ask questions and hang out. We'll start with the reminder and recap of Season 4 goals, then dive into core KPIs, and then into updates from each pod. So to start with, just to remind us where we're at and why we do what we do this season, we're focusing on value centers, including our analysts, the protocol and the app, our data providers, the MetricsDAO brand, and our contributors. And this is how we're doing, starting with the MetricsDAO KPIs. Do we have Aaron here to present?
I think Aaron might be traveling right now.
Yeah, Aaron's not going to be joining us today, and I'm not sure that this slide is up to date, so I would recommend we skip it. Thank you.
Let's go with that. Yeah, and let's go straight to analytics with Zook.
Hi, everyone. So we ran a challenge in the app for Metrics app data, and we got a lot of really cool dashboards with nice data. And I know some of you have seen these new dashboards, so I'm presenting some data from that the community has gathered on the Metrics app. So you'll see a few things that are new in here. But let's start with analysts in the app. We have 191 analysts, 16 of them are new. And in terms of attracting new users, we learned that easy questions and open analytics are the types of challenges that attract the most new users, while flash challenges are those that attract the least amount of new users. Submissions, we have 674 cumulative submissions in the app, and we increased 171 compared to last week. In total, we launched 31 challenges in the app. One more piece of data from the community dashboards, only 30 analysts have submitted more than 5 times in the app. And our top 3 earners are shown here in the bottom right. So 1,556 USDC is the top earner. And interestingly, that person has only 7 submissions, whereas number 2 and number 3 both have 15 submissions. So our top earner is a high performing analyst. And I'm just throwing some Notion data on the left. 68 submissions through Notion. Our Notion bounties are still active. So that's it for analytics. I have some more data on peer review. Okay, just showing you some stats from the community dashboards. On the left, you can see the weekly number of analysts in green and the weekly number of active reviewers. So these are active analysts and active reviewers. So as you can see, there's a slight drop in active analysts this week compared to last week. But also the ratio of reviewers to analysts is coming down, and I think that's a good thing. You don't need to have like more reviewers than analysts or a ratio that is exaggerated. So I think that's an improvement, that there's less active reviewers to analysts. Great news, we've paid 500 submissions through the app so far. So this is great. And the medium reward for analysts is 46 USD. So that's all for stats. And today I'm also presenting bounty ops. Thanks, Marina. We shipped 6 challenges in Notion and 5 in the app. We have a new test environment. So Kakamura developed a test environment for the Metrics app, and we can use that to practice launching challenges. And last week, there's one samurai that got their badge revoked, and I'll give a bit more information about that. There's one person that wasn't reviewing properly and wasn't up to the standards of the Samurai network. So the network leaders revoked the badge of that person. This week, we're going to ship 5 challenges in the end. And also, Klein Network is going to ship another challenge independently from Bounty Ops. We're also training our contributor digital Dan to launch challenges in the app. In terms of priorities, we want to work on setting standards for the Samurai network, which is our main reviewer network now. So we want to make sure that expectations are clear with regards to the people who are part of this network, and maybe set some guidelines for how to kick people out if they don't meet the reviewer standards, etc. We also want to streamline the process for obtaining question statements for challenges. This is a little bit of a blocker or a concern, is just obtaining the question statements for upcoming challenges. It can be hard to communicate with the appropriate people who are supposed to send us questions. Sometimes it's a bit of a pain point, so we're trying to improve that process. And last bit of news, Lamoka Network is going to work with a partner called Co to launch some analysis as part of their network. So those are all the updates for Bounty Ops. Let me know if you have any comments or questions.
Thank you, Zook. That was a legendary series of updates from a series of pods. I have a question about the challenge ops point that you mentioned, which is streamlining the question sourcing. So are you talking here specifically about the community brainstorms and what does that look like right now, and like what are the specific blocks, or are you talking kind of in general, partners and community and the question sourcing more blanket?
Yeah, so specifically, so most of our challenges come from Flipside, and there's different people at Flipside. Some are in charge of osmosis questions, some are in charge of Solana questions or flow, and we never really know if or when we're going to get a question. We have our launch calendar, which has, say, a question planned on Flow for Wednesday, but then on Tuesday, we want to set up the question in advance, and we don't really know if it's going to come. So we've improved our communication with Flipside by having the Discord ID of each person that's in charge of each program, and we've started reaching out to them directly to improve communication with so that's how we're going to improve things. But again, a little bit of a concern is just ensuring we have a big question bank. The more challenge questions we have, the more bounties we can launch. So anything we can do to improve incoming question statements, whether that's it with better communication with our partner or using the community to source questions, that can help us scale up.
Gotcha. On the community side, are you still targeting the candy board mechanism? I know that on the app there was that was initially right built into the app that or supposed to be built into the app that there would be brainstorming and that got pulled back. Or are you maybe considering kind of running as a challenge, a question sourcing challenge on the app, or what are some other mechanisms?
Yeah. So with regards to the candy board, was never a tremendous success. There was a lot of coordination required. The questions were, for the most part, low quality, and then paying people through the candy board was really difficult and work intensive. So I think so what we're starting to do now is to use our networks a little bit more to receive questions. For example, Solar Core, which is our Solana question, has been supplying us with excellent questions every other week. That's one way we're using our networks to get questions, but also Pine has their own marketplace and they're writing the questions themselves without us. So I think we're going to use our networks. Maybe new networks will be created just to give us questions. If that happens, we'd be really happy, and I'm sure we'd find a way to reward such a network. So I think we're going to use the app and networks to get more questions. If anyone has any ideas or wants to start a question writing network, you can talk to me, talk to Bounty Ops, and that would be a great thing.
Thank you, Zook, for going into more detail. I really appreciate it.
You're
Gonna
welcome.
give everyone else a chance to ask. Sorry for monopolizing the air. And there seems to be no further questions. So thanks again, Zook. We're gonna go to Protocol Dev.
Hey everyone. Yeah, so busy week. We have been hammering a lot on like cross-chain payments and like labor markets V2. And the amazing news is that the cross-chain payments code has been merged into production. So that is an awesome milestone. We're not going to be rolling out cross-chain payment challenges yet because we're still working through like legal and compliance reviews with our implementation and probably have some tweaks to make to ensure everything is done well. But yeah, the dev work is like 90% done, which is amazing. The labor markets V2 integration is in flight. We have labor markets themselves being created using the new version of the protocol, which is an awesome first step, and a lot more to do, but we'll keep you all posted. I think that's it. Holler if there are questions.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for the update. Are there any questions before we keep moving? Nope, not hearing any. All right, so let's go to BizDev with James.
Hey everybody. So last week we added 4 data partners and started meeting with DAppLooker to get them networked and start activating the app, which is really exciting. Now have 42 total data partners, which is absolutely amazing. A few more meetings this week, and also I'm meeting with 4 more current data partners to talk to them about how to activate in the app, running challenges. So very excited about that. That's it for me.
Amazing. Thanks, James. Any questions, anybody? We're starting to really pick up here on the agile style. All right, GovOps with Nan.
Hey everyone, not a lot of forward-facing changes this week. We have stuff back with our lawyer counsel. We're we're hoping to wrap that up sometime soon. There's always background planning going on for the next season. And we might be issuing contributors new badges. There's not going to be any action to take on your side. It's just that you'll have a new shiny Season 4 badge along with your Season 3. We'll be changing everything on, like, the locks on our side, so you're good. That's all I got.
Thanks, Dan. All right, there are no questions. Let's go to Treasury with Build.
Hey everyone. So last week we paid out some reviewer bounties up through batch 7. So everything reviewer and analyst payments are all good through batch 7. This week, main priority is getting out review payments that have come from challenges on the app. So we'll be paying these through on the Polygon network. I updated the treasury report and linked it in the slides so anyone can go take a look at everything happening there. I believe it's viewable to everyone with the mdao.xyz email address. So it highlights year-to-date numbers. Revenue is at 468K. Our bounty cost, which is everything we paid for bounties, this is analysts and reviewers, is at 371K. Total other expenses around 176. That includes contributor compensation and like gas fees, bridging costs, things of that nature. So net on the year, minus 79K. So burning about 15K or so a month. And yeah, just be mindful that very young startup, still scaling, being in the red is normal. But our model, as we scale up bounty challenges, we should be receiving more revenue on top of that. That will go into the treasury. So it's something to keep in mind. But that's it for treasury.
Thank you, Bill. It's really, really appreciated, especially as future ideating conversations are happening and starting to look into next season. Any questions from anyone before we keep moving? No? All right, let's go to marketing.
Right. Started, definitely completed. I think we also started. It's been a little bit of a blur. 301 live cohort, got about 55 qualified people. So we should have a really solid group going through that starting later this week. Also got our partner workshops, marketing stuff scheduled. So we're just way ahead on that and should be smooth sailing there. Doing some community surveying, started that last week, continuing that today. Revenue generation stuff, to hopefully to try to turn the red into black. Doing some partner conversations to see how we can better work with them. And we've got a challenge tweet bot. That is, I'm forgetting his Discord name. I don't want to give out his real name in case he wants to be anonymous, but somebody inside of our Discord, no, I forget. Sorry. Anyway, shout out to somebody in our Discord community who put this bot together, mostly out of the kindness of his heart. That's pretty sweet. So keep an eye on Twitter if you want to know when challenges are live. And we got some Twitter follower growth, about 88 new people in the last week. This week, working on the Ethereum 101 course promo thread that I didn't quite get finished last week. Exploring more like revenue and partnership opportunities with our data partners and reviewing our community survey results to see if there are product, services, general things we can do to just be a better community for them.
Thank you, Crypto Freeman, for this update. I think Drake said in the channel, in the chat, but I think it's Playwo who made the bot, most likely.
Yeah,
With
I
a
knew it was a
legend.
P something. It is Playwo. Yeah, that's who it exactly is. Yeah, I knew it's
An absolute legend. Thank you, Playwo. We love you and all you bring to this community, and not the first bot that you make. You're great. All right, any questions for marketing before we keep moving? I have to say we're actually going pretty fast. So let's continue that. Let's go to education.
Okay, hello everyone. So this week we are launching the Bear-free Analytics free O1 cohort, which is going to be run for the next 3 weeks. So that's like one big update here. And other than that, as usual, partner workshops and sessions that we are going to be running this week. This week specifically, it's going to be with Transpose and BigQuery. And as well, a big focus now for education and the DAO itself is figuring out if there's something, what is it that we can monetize. So a big focus for this week is figuring out what are the potential revenue models that we can implement through education.
Thank you, Vida. Excited for the 301 to kick off tomorrow. Air horns and non-existent air horns. Are there any questions that anyone has before we keep moving? All right, seems to be no questions. So that's just me wrapping up with the community updates. Last week, we've continued helping networks network with some network documentation. This is it's becoming a game of how many times I will say network in this update because we love them. Metrics Minds Weekly, we featured our awesome analyst Mossy, who many of us have known for a while and seen grow, first the flip side and then here at MetricsDAO. So it's really, really cool to see Mossy's work featured that way. And the community voted on Mossy's work specifically. And we were really excited to dive in with an in-depth article and a Twitter thread, just pumping them up. Mossy's here. Congrats again. We had a community call with our awesome Danner.eth, who talked about some of the upcoming changes with analyst payments, reviewer payments, just how it's all going to work better in the V2 of the Metrics app. There is a video of that in case you missed it, but I want to catch up. And we'll also be producing documentation that lets you kind of catch up async if you're curious kind of what that's about. The long and the short of that is there's going to be more predictability for both the analysts of how much you can earn with our challenges and also for challenge operators, whoever launches the challenges and wants to kind of have a better handle on predicting what the spend would look like for both analytics and the review. Stay tuned for more docs for that this week. We also welcomed, or we have just welcomed, it's this week's column, our first data partner badge network, which is DAppLooker. They now have their own channel and they will be chatting with them in there and getting the network engaged. So the network of networks inception style is coming into fruition. We're also focusing on figuring how to best help all of the other pods as we as DAO think about the future and how we can better understand our users for that goal. Again, this week we'll be doing a Twitter picks for the best dashboard of the week that everyone would like to see featured. So keep an eye out on Twitter, probably tomorrow, and vote. Let us know which dashboard takes the crown and gets the deep dive article this week. And yeah, we're exploring community grants and other grant funding to help the MetricsDAO community and DAO thrive. I do have a couple of blockers on the list this week. One is we're helping resolve the near hunt issue for the community, which I think it's pretty close to resolution now. So there's a criteria that's the DAO is broadening for one of the actions that participants took in the hunt, which was bridging funds. And yeah, we're following that to completion to make sure the community continues to trust us and the participants continue to trust us that, you know, we do what we promised we do. And the second concern or blocker on the list is that the onboarding project is tentatively temporarily paused in favor of helping with the user research. But to be honest, I will connect more with contributors who are focusing on our kind of user research and our business model to understand how we can help better and see if that's still something that will bring value to them. So that's something I'm pursuing, and also talking with Gabriel, who is here in the group, on how we can support other pods better in this way. And finally, neither a concern nor a blocker, but our awesome Sandesh is back from his vacation. So we're really happy to have him back. Another air horns, imaginary air horns moment here. So yeah, welcome back, Sandesh. If he's watching this in replay. Woohoo. And I think, so Padma asked the question in the chat before we wrap up, does dashboard teardown or the dashboard teardown conflict with the session? I think the session is Tuesday for a 301 course, and dashboard teardown is Wednesday this week. Which, now that you mention it, we also have a dashboard teardown this week. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to put it on the slide, but it is Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. If there are conflicts, if there are, we will announce, but I don't think there are. And yeah, we will have some special guests on the dashboard teardown this week, and I'll republish the link of how you can drop your dashboard if you're an analyst here listening in, and get some reviews. We have some special network guests this week, so stay tuned. And we record those as well, so if you want to catch up later, you're always welcome to. And that's my community update. We're gonna figure out if there's any conflict that Padma mentioned. I think we're good. Still, we'll follow through. We'll follow up. And if there's anything else anyone wanted to ask or mention, please speak now or type now. I'm gonna give it a second. And otherwise, love seeing you all here every week, and see you around, and have a great week. Thanks all.
Thanks, Marina.
Bye.
Thanks all.
See ya.
Good week, y'all. Later.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good week.